Dr. Zelrath had devoted his entire career to understanding humans. As the galaxy's leading xenopsychologist, he'd studied 47 species, mapping their cognitive patterns, predicting their behaviors with 98% accuracy. Humans were different. It makes no logical sense, he told his research team, displaying data across the holographic screen. Observe. Humans are persistence predators, evolved to chase prey for days without stopping. Their entire biology screams efficiency, calculation, survival, optimization. His assistant nodded. Yes, Professor. Death World apex predators. Exactly. So explain this. Zelrath pulled up incident reports. Human rescue worker runs into burning building to save a stranger's pet. Human soldier throws himself on explosive device to protect colleagues. Human civilian donates kidney to complete stranger. Perhaps pack bonding behavior? That's what I thought. But look, more data appeared. Human stops traffic to help injured animal. Different species. No evolutionary connection. No survival benefit. They actively endanger themselves for creatures they've never met and will never see again. The assistant's crest flattened in confusion. That's illogical. It gets worse. Zelrath was pacing now. Humans rescue predators that could kill them. They save competitors for resources. They adopt offspring from other species and raise them as their own. They weep at fictional stories about beings that don't exist. Professor, perhaps their threat assessment is impaired. No, their threat assessment is exceptional. They're brilliant at identifying danger. Zelrath pulled up military records. Same human who cries at sad movies can calculate ballistic trajectories under fire. Same human who adopts stray animals can survive in environments that would kill most species. He collapsed into his chair. They're simultaneously the most pragmatic survivors and the most illogically compassionate beings I've ever studied. It defies every model. His assistant hesitated. Professor, have you considered asking them? Ask them? Ask them what? Why they do it? Zelrath stared. In 30 years of research, he'd never thought to simply ask. He scheduled an interview with Dr. Maria Santos, a human biologist working on station. Dr. Santos, my research shows humans frequently act against self-interest to help others. This behavior serves no evolutionary purpose. Why do you do it? Maria looked at him like he'd asked why water was wet. Because we can? That's not an answer. It's the only answer. Maria leaned forward. Look, Dr. Zelrath, you're trying to find logic in compassion. But compassion isn't logical. It's not a survival strategy we calculated. It's just what we do. But the risk is worth it. Maria smiled. Here's the thing about humans. Yes, we evolved as persistence predators. Yes, we're good at survival. But somewhere along the way, we realized something. Surviving isn't the same as living. Zelrath, as translator, struggled with the distinction. We could optimize everything for pure survival, Maria continued. Be perfectly logical, perfectly efficient. But what's the point of surviving if we lose what makes us human? Empathy, kindness, irrational, illogical compassion for beings who can't help us back. So you acknowledge it's illogical? Completely. Maria grinned. And we're not stopping. You know why humans dominate our own planet? Not because we're the strongest or fastest. Because we cooperate. We help. We see something suffering and we want to fix it, even when it makes no sense. She pulled up images on her datapad. This is my dog, Luna. Rescued her from a shelter. This is my neighbor's kid, who I tutor for free. This is a charity I donate to for species. Then why? Because it matters. Maria's expression grew serious. Dr. Zelrath, you're looking for logic and love, strategy and sacrifice. But that's the human secret you can't quantify. We don't just survive. We care. Sometimes about things we shouldn't. Sometimes in ways that seem stupid. But that illogical compassion, it's what makes us human. Zelrath sat in silence. You're saying the secret is there is no logic? The secret is we don't need logic for everything. Sometimes we just need heart. Dr. Zelrath published his findings 6 months later. The paper was titled Human Compassion, the Evolutionary Advantage of a Logical Kindness. His conclusion shocked the scientific community. Humans succeeded not despite their irrational compassion, but because of it. Their willingness to help, even at personal cost, created societies where cooperation exceeded pure survival instinct. They saved strangers because strangers might save them. They protected other species because diversity strengthened everyone. They chose compassion over calculation because being human meant being more than just alive. The galaxy spent centuries trying to understand human logic. They finally learned. Humanity's greatest strength was having the courage to be illogical, to choose heart over head, to care when caring made no sense. That was the secret. That was humanity.